Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 9 of the 2016 NFL season. Well, the first game I'm going to talk about, I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons on the road to defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Atlanta, they're one of the best teams in the NFL in total and scoring offense. Wide receiver Julio Jones didn't exactly have a stupendous game last week. I think he's going to break out. I believe he'll likely get at least 100 yards receiving. It'll be a good bounce back game for him. The offense is great for Atlanta. In Tampa Bay right now, they have a 3-game winning streak against Atlanta. I really believe Atlanta does not want to be swept in consecutive seasons by Tampa Bay. I do believe Atlanta is the better team on paper. I would expect a good amount of points to be scored in this game. Atlanta is giving up nearly 29 points per game. Tampa Bay is giving up 27 points per game. But I think Atlanta wins. I better take Atlanta in a shootout in this one. So, next game, I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens at home to defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Ravens, though, their defense may not be the ravenous defense they had of old. However, they're just allowing 19.9 points per game. They are number 2 in total defense in the league, surprisingly. They're not playing well right now. They have lost 4 consecutive games. They do have 8 defensive interceptions, and it looks like for Pittsburgh, Ben Roethlisberger, from what I understand, he's probable for this game and will likely be active and will be playing in this one. However, I don't anticipate him to be 100%. And the last 3 times that Ben Roethlisberger has gone to Baltimore, they has lost every time. I think history is going to repeat itself. Pittsburgh does have a plethora of offensive weapons, including Antonio Bell and including wide receiver Antonio Brown and running back Le'Veon Bell. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the fact that Big Ben won't be 100% healthy and the fact they're on the road, it all tells me that Baltimore will win this game, and I'm going to pick Baltimore in this one. Now, next game, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to defeat the Cleveland Browns on the road. Now, Dallas is 6-1 right now. They could have very easily been 7-0. They lost a 1-point game to my G-Men in week 1 of this regular season. They're averaging nearly 165 rushing yards per game. Running back Ezekiel Elliott is having a phenomenal season. Dallas is surprisingly 3-0 on the road. Cleveland is 1-22 in their last 23, counting the preseason. They're also number 31 in rushing yards per game allowed, and Dallas is one of the best teams in running in the NFL. Cleveland just seems to have a propensity to lose. They just find manifold ways to do so. However, they have been in a number of games this year. I expect this being, given that Dallas is going on the road into Cleveland, and with the rookie quarterback and rookie running back, I anticipate this game to be a tight one, actually, but I do see Dallas winning. I'm going to take Dallas to win on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs at home to defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kansas City is number 1 in defensive interceptions right now at 11. They are 15-4 at Kansas City since 2014, plus 9 in turnover differential. You look at Jacksonville, they're a putrid 2-17 on the road since 2014. They're allowing 28 points per game, and they're minus 8 in turnover differential. They have a proclivity to give up the ball. Kansas City is opportunistic. They have the ability to capitalize on turnovers from the other team. I like Kansas City to win this one. Next game, I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins at home to defeat the New York Jets. Miami, surprisingly, is 3-1 at home this season. Running back Jay, I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, Ajayi is 418 yards in the last 2 games. He's on a little bit of a rampage right now. Now, the New York Jets are only allowing 74 yards per game on the ground. Their run defense has been good, very exceptional actually, but I think it's a little deceptive. A lot of that's attributed to the fact that teams know that they could pass on the Jets. They're -9 in turnover differential. The Jets are also 2-3 on the road, under 500 on the road, and divisional opponent going into Miami. The Jets really, I know they got a little swagger coming off the 2-game winning streak, but one of those games was against the Browns. They won the other one against Baltimore, but that was a very super desperate Jets team in that one. And the way I see is I just don't know if they're going to win 3 consecutive games. I do like Miami to win at home in this one. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the New York Giants at home to defeat the Philadelphia Eagles. The Giants right now rested, coming off the bye week. They are 2-1 at home. They look like they're, it might be too early to say the resurgent New York Giants, but they have won a couple games in a row. I think wide receiver Odell Beckham, I think he's starting to deal with whatever was going on with him, emotional turmoil or personal issues. It's gonna have less of an impact on the field, whatever it is. And Philadelphia right now, they are starting to struggle a little bit. They've dropped 3 of their last 4. They are 1-3 on the road. They've had the Giants number in recent time. They have won 4 consecutive games against the New York Giants, but all streaks are meant to be broken, and I think this will be one of them. So I'm going to take the G-Men to win at home. Now the next game. Well, Minnesota Vikings, I'm going to take them at home against the Detroit Lions. Minnesota's dropped the last 2. They looked like they were going to be Super Bowl contender when I first saw them the first 5 games when they were 5-0. After dropping those 2, I mean, they just have not really looked that impressive to me. They have like 20 points total the last 2 games. I don't know if the protection for Sam Bradford has diminished a little bit, what's exactly going on. But I'm thinking that the lack of the rushing game maybe is starting to catch up with them. If I heard it right on ESPN earlier, that the Vikings were averaging a league low, like 2.7 yards per carry on the ground. And that, I mean, you could only get by without the running game for so long. However, Minnesota, I think, is still good enough to beat Detroit. Minnesota is still a very solid home team. They're +11 in turnover differential, and they have defeated the Lions the last 2 times they played them. Now, Detroit, they have played very well the last 4 games. They had won 3 consecutive, but then they lost a close one on the road at Houston. Detroit is only 1-3 on the road this season. Despite them playing well, I think Minnesota is going to bounce back. They know they've lost 2 consecutive. They want to show some redemption, and I think they'll get it done, and they'll beat Detroit, I believe, in a close one. Now, the next game, I'm going to take Carolina on the road to defeat the Los Angeles Rams. Carolina, I know they haven't looked like the team that went to Super Bowl last year. They're a far cry from that. However, they're averaging about 27 points per game. Cam Newton is back, and Cam Newton was efficient in the last game against Arizona. I think this team is a little bit revived and rejuvenated with Cam Newton's arrival again. Los Angeles Rams have lost 3 consecutive games. They're coming off a bye week. They're only averaging about 17 points per game, and running back Todd Gurley has not had a 100-yard game this season. I don't know if he's going to get one in this one. He's obviously going to have to step it up if Los Angeles has a chance to win this game, I believe. But I think Carolina right now is just the better team at this point, and I'm going to take Carolina to win this on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints to win on the road over the San Francisco 49ers. The New Orleans Saints, I mean, there's not enough superlatives for their offense. Really, right now, they're averaging about 29 points per game. They've won 3 of 4, and the last 2 games, the defense seems like it's come alive. I think it's like 41 points maybe the team has allowed in the last 2 games combined, so it has looked respectable. However, their scoring defense is not obviously not great. That will likely keep San Francisco in this game. San Francisco is dead last in the NFL in rushing yards allowed per game, and that could be advantageous to the Saints. The Saints are really, they seem to be a pass first offense, but they might actually have a good running game, running attack in this particular game as well, and that could be advantageous to them. I do like the Saints to win this one on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the San Diego Chargers to win at home over the Tennessee Titans. San Diego, they have, well, the one thing about them is Phillip Rivers is that mainstay of that team. I believe I talked about this perhaps in the previous NFL prediction video I had for Week 8, is that his passion is just unbridled. He just keeps playing no matter what the score, the circumstances. I think between him and Drew Brees, as far as the perseverance goes, they're about the best in the NFL as far as quarterbacks go. They may not be, I think Brady is the best one, but with Brees and Rivers, it's just the way they just keep gunning no matter what is going on. And they really, as far as their offense goes, their offense has, San Diego, I believe, has an exceptional offense, and they have defeated the Titans during their history, during the time the Tennessee Titans have been the Titans. I'm not talking about when they were the Oilers, the Houston Oilers or the Tennessee Oilers. The San Diego is 5-0 against the Titans at San Diego. Now, Tennessee, however, they're one of the better teams at sacking the quarterback. They have 22 defensive sacks right now. San Diego has allowed 21 sacks, so that's going to be a key matchup. If they could get to Rivers frequently in this game and force him also to throw some errant passes, the Titans have a shot to win this one. This is not, the Titans are improved right now, and I think they're going to give San Diego all they can handle, but I do like San Diego to win this one. Running back to Marco Murray for Tennessee, he's one of the best rushers in the NFL right now. The Titans are one of the better teams as far as rushing yards per game, but San Diego is number 6 in the NFL in rushing yards allowed per game. So that's going to be another battle be interesting to watch. If the Titans can get 100 yards on the ground, I think they can win this one. But they may not do that, and I think San Diego has the edge, as perhaps with their run defense. And I'm going to go with San Diego to win this one, and it being at San Diego as well. That's why I like the Chargers to win. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers at home to defeat the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I know Green Bay came off a very tough loss last week at Atlanta. That could have gone either way. They played a very good team in Atlanta. Green Bay right now, they are 3-1 at home. They don't look like that perennial Super Bowl contender, but they still, I think Aaron Rodgers in the offense is finding the groove, and he's finding there's cohesion and chemistry between him and the receivers. It don't seem to matter who the tight ends, who the wide receivers are. They're still finding a way to get it done. Indianapolis now, they're one of those mercurial teams. They look good one week, they can't win the next. They seem to flip-flop week after week, wins and losses. And they've allowed 31 sacks this season. They just can't seem to give Andrew Luck any protection. And right now, if I remember right now, Andrew Luck had the worst QBR in total QBR in the NFL last Sunday, and they are allowing nearly 288 yards per game, passing yards per game, from as far as their defense goes, and they're only 1-3 on the road. And I think factoring in that Green Bay has played very well at home this season, and that Green Bay is getting into their groove on offense, I like the Packers to emerge victorious at home. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders to win at home over the Denver Broncos. This should be one of the better matchups. Oakland right now, they're trying to establish supremacy in the AFC West. Denver has been there, done that. Oakland is at home. Quarterback Derek Carr he's turned out to be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. He's number 5 right now in the NFL in passing yards, and they have allowed the fewest sacks in the NFL, the Oakland Raiders. Denver, on the other hand, is tied for number 1 in defensive sacks at 26. I think Oakland is going to contain the relentless pass rush of the Denver Broncos, which is part of the reason why I like them to win. Von Miller, of course, having another sensational season for Denver. You look at the Denver Broncos; they have been one of the best teams in the AFC West for a number of years. Now Oakland, this is going to be a prime time game. I believe this is a Sunday night game, and I do like Oakland to win this one at home. Now the next game. Last but not least, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks to win at home over the Buffalo Bills. Seattle right now, saying their offense has been sporadic is probably a vast understatement. However, their defense is what still keeps them as one of the better teams in the league. They came off a tough loss last week against the New Orleans Saints. However, Seattle is number 2 in scoring defense. Quarterback Russell Wilson, interesting stat, he's 9-0 at home versus AFC East teams. So, and they're also, Seattle's 3-0 at home this season. Buffalo right now, they're tied for number 1 in sacks in the NFL. If they could get to Russell Wilson, they do have a shot to win this one, because Seattle is not, I mean, even though they have one of the better records in the NFC right now, they don't seem like that dominant team they had been in the past. Buffalo has dropped 2 consecutive. Now, Lorenzo Alexander is number 1 in the NFL in sacks right now, so at 9.0, and it's going to be obviously a key for Seattle to contain him and to keep Russell Wilson off his back. Russell Wilson has had difficulty in terms of scoring as far as touchdowns this season. I don't... whether it's throwing them or running them into the end zone, the offense has struggled a little bit for Seattle. And many of you may remember they lost 9-0 to the Los Angeles Rams earlier this season. And last week the offense only generated 13 points. So if the offense is adequate enough, they will win this game. I don't think it's going to perform great, but I think between their defense and the offense being home, they'll be respectable. It'll be enough to defeat the Buffalo Bills. So I do like Seattle at home. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for my 2016 Week 9 NFL predictions. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.